Even with dry hands, you can't get the girl. You know why I can say that? Because I'm literally facing it right now. I'm standing at the physical finish line that you are still dreaming about, and I'm here telling you the reality is a fucking slap in the face. But before we go into the dirt, let's just get one thing straight. If you are the kind of pussy I used to be who sits in the comments and says, "Oh, bro, girls aren't important, just focus on yourself, just focus on the grind," then get the fuck out of here. Close this video and unsubscribe. I don't want any crabs in this bucket because I lived that exact lie for my entire life and I am just done with that. Every time I told myself that women didn't matter, I acted like a bitch to protect my own fragile ego. You have to understand that biology doesn't care about your coping mechanism. Girls are very important. It's a fact. You can't just change human biology. And listen, I'm not here to be nice and I'm not here to sugarcoat reality for cowards. If you think you can ignore the core pillar of masculinity just because your palms sweat, you are lost, my friend. Because I spent 20 years believing a massive lie. I always thought once I get dry, I would finally be more open. I always thought once the moisture stopped, my life would magically begin. And I thought suddenly I would download the charisma into my brain and get the woman I desired. But did it happen? Absolutely not. I coped out my own life. I didn't make any real social progress because I was living in the future trap where I thought I had to become something completely flawless before I was allowed to step into the real world. You know why I keep emphasizing on what happens after you get dry? Because I lost all those years. I reached the finish line. I got the cure. I got dry. And when I crossed that finish line, I looked around. And you know what I realized? I realized that it was all fake. I have lived a lie. I was completely delusional. My hands were fixed, but my mind was still broken. I lost my prime years because no one gave me this wisdom. No one showed me the path. I am passing down this to you today. I am passing you the learning without the scar because I am the only one who gets this. I am the only one who can make you a man despite hyperhidrosis. You know why? Because I am becoming one right in front of your eyes. And that's why this July we stop hiding. We kill the ballless ghost. We are going to fix the hardware and then we are going to rewrite the software. The link is below. Join or continue as a ballless ghost. The choice is yours. Now, let me tell you what happened to me just yesterday. I was in the city center. I was sitting in a cafe having coffee with a friend, and I looked sharp. I was dressed nicely, and my hands were bone dry. On the outside, I looked like a king. And then I saw her, a beautiful, highly attractive girl at the counter, a 9 out of 10. And every single biological instinct in my body was screaming at me to get up and go talk to her. My hardware was ready. I had no physical excuse left. But what did I do? I sat there like a ballless, wet ghost. I stayed glued to my chair and I simulated. I ran 1,000 fake scenarios in my head. Like, what if she's busy? What if she rejects me in front of my friend? What if my hand starts to sweat out of nowhere? I debated with the bitch inside my head until I watched that girl take her coffee, turn around, and go out of the cafe without me saying a single word. I was dry, but I let my sufferer identity take over. I was a terrified patient despite looking attractive. It was all a mind game, and I lost. I realized in that cafe that looking sharp, looking attractive means nothing if your spirit is still flinching. I realized having dry palms means nothing if your soul is still sweating. I even catch myself doing this sometimes. I find myself flirting with average looking girls. Why? Because it's safe. There's no risk of actual rejection. I say the lines, I give them a look, they smile, and I get to feel like a man for 5 seconds. But I'm not. I am snacking on scraps because I am too terrified to hunt. And I am feeding my ego with garbage just to protect myself from the girl in the cafe who actually made me nervous. Look, I'm 26 years old and I don't have an athletic body yet. It's going to take me few years of grinding to build the physique I actually want. And if I wait until the perfect body, the perfect money, and the perfect vibe to start talking to women, I would be 30 years old without even holding a hand. That's why I am making this point. I am done living in the future. Now, let me tell you why I am showing you this blood right now instead of waiting until I win the whole war. For years, I used to cope with this too. I told myself that I will share my hyperhidrosis story once I'm fully dry, once I have the perfect life, once I have the perfect goal and zero fears. I will come out and start sharing when I'm flawless. But then I realized the truth. I realized that if I wait until I cross the final finish line and then show you my success, then show you my victory, you will just find another excuse to cope. If I show you just my victories, you will say, oh, well, look at him. It's easy for him. He has good genetics. Things like that. Basically, you will find another excuse to stay a pussy. So, I am doing you a massive favor by showing you my failures today. I am giving you the front row seat in the arena while I am taking hits because when you see me bleeding and still moving my feet, your excuses die. I realized I don't want patients clapping for me when I reach the finish line. I want soldiers, I want brothers fighting next to me in the dirt. We need to reunite this broken community, and I am the only one willing to do it. Listen to me and understand this deeply. Whenever you think of hyperhidrosis, my face should be the only one you see. Not some doctor in a white coat, not an anonymous user on Reddit, me. Why? Because while everyone else is hiding, I am the only man alive with this condition who's bleeding in the arena to show you the way out. Just look at the forms. It's an ocean of wet ghosts crying about their genetics, and waiting for a doctor to save them while their youth evaporates. While they are hiding in the shadows, I am the only one standing in the blood and dirt. I am in the arena every single day. I am failing, I am crashing, but I get up and I fight again and again and again. I have coped my entire life, but not anymore. If you want to be dry and you want to take back everything this condition has stole from you, you have to step into the arena with me. The physical cure is just the entry trigger. The war is in the mind. I will reach the goal. I will become the man I am destined to be. I will get there because I refuse to stop stepping into the fire. I will become the man I want to be. And I'm going to do it in front of the whole world. And more importantly, right in front of you. But if you are still sitting there, hanging on to your old software and wondering why I am attacking it so aggressively today, you haven't understood the game we are born into. You still think the life is fair. It's not. The average guy starts at 5 out of 10. But you and me, who have hyperhidrosis, we start at 0 out of 10. We are born in deficit. And if you sit there, cry about the gap, you will die as a wet goose. You need to understand you have a debt to pay to the world. You have to compensate with massive, relentless progress. You need to understand the hyperhidrosis tax. Click here to learn more about it. I will see you right there.